Hey guys, what's going on? Garanex here, bringing you another video on 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. Being a gacha game, you know that you will not always get the character that you want. It all depends on your luck. Like many of you, myself included, have been trying to get Escanor since his banner and many other banners after his, and we still can't get him. And we see Escanor in so many team comps all over the place, especially high level PvP. So does it mean that people without Escanor will never be able to reach the higher level PvP? Well, it will be a bit harder, but I believe it's doable. It all depends on your strategy. So in this video, I want to share with you some basic tips on team building. So you will be able to create your own teams even if you don't have certain units. Before we get into that, I post a video every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. So if you are new to the channel, do subscribe and click on the bell icon so you know when there is a new video coming up. Now let's get into it. The reason we want to build a team is because we want to play around a certain mechanics or playstyle. So before we start putting units into the team, we first need to figure out what kind of mechanics we want to have in the team or what kind of playstyle we want to use. Like, do you want to go with loads of buff, or do you want to play with debuffs instead? Or would you want to go for a more balanced team? So I'll be going over a few team comps and explain why each unit is there and what are the suitable substitutes you can use if you don't have those units. Now first let us take a look at this team comp here. We have Gustav, Gotha, Blue Slater and Kane at the sub. So this is a very common team comp for Red Demon because Red Demon can be CC'd, which means crowd control. So we can actually stun him, we can petrify him and we can freeze him. So this whole team comp works around Gustav's freeze. So for Gustav, you don't actually need to build him up a lot. He's mainly there for the freeze. So on his second skill, he can freeze for 1 turn. Rank 2 is also 1 turn. If attacked, frozen targets take an additional 80% damage. So his freeze on rank 2 and rank 3 actually allows your DPS unit to deal more damage to the Red Demon. His unique is it decreases all enemies' resistance by the value of Gustav's pierce rate at the start of the battle. It's kind of useful but not a necessity. So as long as we have his skill 2 for the freeze, then that will be enough. So for Gotha, his main role over here is to provide support. So what we want is his second skill here. So his second skill ranks up the cards of your allies. So essentially it lets your DPS deals more damage because of the higher rank of the cards. So also his unique works very well with in this team because with Gustav's freeze, you will not be taking any damage from the Red Demon. So Gotha's unique increases all allies attack by 10% if Gotha doesn't take any damage. So if the Red Demon is frozen, he will not attack, he will not take damage. So you can stack up the Gotha's passive here. So our DPS unit is a Blue Slater. So Slater, he doesn't do anything else, all his skills are just attack skills. What makes him so suitable in this team comp is because of his unique. So he increases his crit chance to 30% of its value when the hero attacks an enemy with an empty ultimate move gauge. So in an ideal situation, Gustav should be freezing the Red Demon every single turn. So the Red Demon would not be able to do anything and thus would not be able to gain his ult gauge. And because of that, Slater will be able to have this activate his unique every single turn. So Slater himself has a base crit chance of 30%. So this works very well together with Kane in the sub. The reason why Kane works very well with Blue Slater is because of his unique. And the only reason we have Kane here is because of his unique. So his unique is that it increases all allies attack related stats by 10% in deathmatch. So attack related stats includes crit chance. So that means for Blue Slater, he has a base of 30% with his unique, and that becomes a 90%, and then together with Kane's unique, now that becomes a 100% crit chance. So Slater will be able to deal a whole lot more damage. So if you are a new player or you are a free-to-play player, you might not have every single unit over here. But what you need to take note is what are the roles that each of them are playing. So Gustav here is meant for CC, crowd control. That means you can substitute him with any petrify or stun or freeze. And Gotha is a support, Slater is a DPS, and Kane is just providing a passive that works very well with the team. So for Gustav, you can replace him with Red Merlin. So Red Merlin has the exact same freeze as Gustav, or you can use Red Helbram or Blue King. So both Helbram and King has a Petrify, but the thing with Helbram and King is that their Petrify only works on rank 2 and above. So for Gustav and Red Merlin, their freeze works on rank 1. So it's a lot easier for you to pull it off the CC every turn. For the support unit, you can use anyone that provides a buff, for example Red Arthur, Green Helbram, or Green Gil Thunder. So all three of them provides a very good buff to the whole team. For the DPS unit, you can use Green Jericho, although Green Jericho has a type disadvantage here, but she's still usable. I believe Galen works pretty well, but I haven't really tested him in Red Demon yet. Red Lizhawk works very well, or you can use Escanor as well. So basically any DPS units will do. So for the sub, you can actually use Red Elizabeth here. Her passive actually gives you a 10% heal every single turn. But again, in the ideal situation, you should not be taking any damage in a fight with Red Demon. So this might not be extremely suitable here. Or you can consider using Golgius. So his passive increases all allies damage dealt by 15% in deathmatch. So essentially it is also increasing the damage you deal to the Red Demon. So these are some of the units that you can use to replace this team over here. Now the next team I want to showcase is actually the KingBram team, but I don't have a Red Helbram with me. So just imagine this empty slot as Red Helbram. So why I want to use Red Helbram as an example is because Red Helbram actually has a ton of mechanics inside that actually revolves around disabling your opponents. First, let's take a look at Helbram. So his first skill depletes ult gauge. His second skill petrifies on rank 2 and above. He has an ult that cancels buff and stances on all enemies, and his passives increases the basic stats by 5% per surviving ally. And for King, what he does is that he has a petrify on rank 2, and he has a cleanse on rank 1 and cleanse and heal on a rank 2 and above. And his ult hurts a lot. At the same time, his unique increases the fairy allies basic stats by 8%, so that further increases Helbram's stats by another 8%. And Gotha, he's mainly here for the rank up cards, because for King and Helbram, both of their petrify needs to be at least rank 2. So with Gotha's upgrades over here, you can easily get the petrify active. Not only that, Gotha also has a disable attack on his first skill, and his ult depletes ult gauge also. And on the sub we have Merlin. Merlin is here for her passive of filling the ult gauge at the start of the battle. But at the same time, take note that all three of the main units have AoE ult. So you can easily do a team wipe if you can reach ult easily. And in the case that any units went down, Merlin will come up as a backup because she also has a deplete ult gauge and at the same time provide a barrier. So by looking at the whole team, we have 3 ult gauge drained, 2 petrify, a cleanse and a heal, 2 attack disable, and also 3 AoE ults. So that's what makes this team so toxic in the PvP. So what happens if you don't have certain units in this team comp? Like for myself, I don't have Helbram. So what I'm using is actually this team over here. I'm using Gotha King, Merlin, and Gale Thunder on the sub. So I bring Merlin to the front so that I get that old gauge drain, and also I get a barrier. And putting Gale Thunder on the sub gives me the defense boost in PvP because Merlin is a bit squishy, and is also to compensate for the buff, the basic stats buff that Helbram has. So this team retains a little bit of the control mechanics of the KingBram team, but it lacks a bit of damage because Helbram hits very hard, and also I lost another AoE ult here. So the same logic applies to other teams, like the mono red team using Gotha, Hauser, Arthur, and Twigo on the sub. Each of these units complement each other in a certain mechanics, in this case taking advantage of all red units and a majority of human units. So I hope this video gives you a little bit of insights on how to build a team. If you think I missed out on anything, please leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video. That's it for today, take care and have a great day ahead.